In 2007, I was on holiday in Canada. We were coming down through Alberta, down through the Rocky Mountains, and one of the places we stopped at was on the Icefield Parkway at a place called Bow Lake. It's a beautiful glacier lake surrounded by mountains, and at the end of the lake you can see the end of the glacier. There's a waterfall, there's a walk around the lake, there are forests, and it's an absolutely stunning place. In fact, I call it now my favourite place in the world, and I have been lucky to travel to some beautiful countries and seen some spectacular sights. But Bow Lake there's a connection there, and I can't put my finger on it. I don't know why, but that first time on that day in 2007 when I got out of the car and stood by that lake, I could feel that there was something there, and it remains my favourite place in the world to this day. So that was 2007. Fast forward to 2015, and my company that I was working for, I worked in construction. My company set up a joint venture with a Canadian company, and where did we end up? I ended up for 3 years in Alberta, Canada, in Calgary, 90 minutes away from my favourite place in the world, Bow Lake. I got to visit Bow Lake numerous times, spring, summer, autumn, winter. No matter when, it forever touched my soul. It is a beautiful, beautiful spot. If you ever get a chance to go, please do. And something about this place, because it's a tourist spot, coachloads of tourists pass through that every day. I mean, hundreds of people. They come out, pictures by the lake, walk round to the waterfall, look at the cabins. But I can sit at the side of that lake in utter silence. I mean, I'm silent, but the surroundings are silent. It's as if the mountains almost suck up any of the noise. Now, I don't know if everybody feels that, but I know I do. And I can sit there for hours, and have done. I have sat there to the side of the lake in my own thoughts for hours. And last year was the last time I was there. I was lucky enough, I was on a course in the States, travelled back through Calgary because I was visiting a friend, and the lodge, which is Numtiya, which means pine marten, had a cancellation the day before my birthday. So I made the trip. I went back up to Bow Lake, and I sat there at the side of the lake in that silence while hundreds of tourists were milling around, sat taking in the spectacular beauty, and even the smell. That clean, fresh air, and almost the taste of it, as well as the visual sights of the snow-capped mountains and the green forests, the silence. It is so spectacular, and I can't really describe the feeling it gives me, but there is an utter calmness, and it is as if I've come home. That's probably the feeling it is, that I found my home. So I sat there in July last year, and I started getting these words. Phrases started coming into my head and kept repeating and repeating and repeating. To the end I felt compelled to get a pen out of my bag and scraps of paper, and I started writing down these words that I was hearing in my head. I wasn't consciously thinking about it. And when that went on for hours into the night, I was sitting outside that cabin well into the early hours of the morning, beautiful clear skies. You can see hundreds and thousands of stars. You can hear the waterfall in the distance. The only thing you do in the summer is to keep an eye out, because there's a grizzly bear that comes through there quite regularly. So I always sat at the chair near the door with the key to the door in my hand, just in case. So I wrote these words down, and they became what I called my downloads, because I've had those now for 18 months. Just words come into my head, I write them down, and they have turned into, I suppose, prose or poems. And when I look back at them, it's strange. There's a lot of metaphors in there, and they have a meaning. And I've shared some of them with some people, and hopefully one day more people will get to hear them. But that isn't what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about Bow Lake. Go visit Bow Lake, Numtiya. was built by a guy called Jimmy Simpson, who also came across it back in the early 1900s. He was a mountain man. He was originally from England. But he led hunting parties through the Rockies, and he came across Bow Lake. And he said, "This is the most beautiful place I have ever seen. I will come back here one day and build a cabin and raise a family." And that's exactly what he did. He raised a son and 2 daughters in that cabin. He lived there all his life. And now you can go and stay in that cabin. And it is fairly rustic because they haven't changed it much since those days, but it is beautiful. Go visit. My favourite place on earth. I call it my creative space now. Do go, do enjoy it, and let me know what you think.